Hey, it's Friday. This is The Last Word, a Chrisman commentary weekly show. This is like I was thinking at this time of day, back in the day, this would have been like All My Children or one of the serials would have been coming on. So we are like the Friday soap opera for the industry.
My grandma called them stories. She
Story,
watched their stories. This is a
story.
story. This is a mortgage servicing story or
The-
mortgage story.
We've got
To,
Mortgage
story.
market.
to be clear, we would be, right before, Dynasty, Young, and the Restless, and not after the Guiding Light. Because when the Guiding Light came on, you knew it was time to go to bed or get the heck out of
What the
that.
heck? Are you a vampire? Do you sleep during the day or something? Oh, or
Well,
that's
okay.
just
So when I got just to clarify this, so when I came home from school, my mom was watching those, and when Guiding Light came on, is when she took a nap.
I got you.
So
Okay,
that's
yeah.
which then I would flip straight to video games.
Love it. So people
Which
that are
video
joining
games
are like,
though?
what
Like,
the heck are these guys? Why are they talking about soap operas? And that's what we
Well,
do.
I am here at AIM Fuse, and and I really try and stay off of like Facebook. I really do. But apparently, there's drama out there, and I don't
Okay.
know. I just, I don't care. You know what? We're like Switzerland and PMG. I don't care about any of the drama. I love everybody. We try and support everyone. We just want to do business and just do our work. We're a little small, little gal under the radar, right? So that's it.
So let's start. I know we were going to talk about NBA, but let's start with AIM Fuse because it's a big event, annual event, and um, Nashville Gaylord, the Gaylord Resort. Is today like the official first full day, or did it kick off yesterday?
Today's the first full day.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
so I'm missing everything because of this, but that's okay. It's only 30 minutes, but yeah,
Yeah.
Matt Ishbia was just wrapping up, and then they have a lunch, and there's speakers throughout the day. So it's actually the resort's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I've
So
been there.
I've never been to Opryland.
I've been to I think there was maybe a servicing conference that was there maybe I don't know a bunch of years ago. I don't mind it because it's like on its own. You're kind of disconnected from everything, so everything's just kind of housed in one spot. And to shout out AIM Fuse, I did get a sneak peek at the agenda. Kind of Jason Frazier showed me kind of what was going on. They did a nice job in terms of the content. There's a ton of content, a lot of great industry folks and brokers that are sharing. Obviously, Matt doing his thing, and we're coming off the heels of KP. You were back to back NAM, then NBA. I was at NBA, so Courtney was onboarding, a bunch of loans, so she was a little busy. But NBA was great. It was well attended. I was there in my new capacity with Mismo, and so it was really a different conference for me. I'm used to being more visible in the hallways and in the after parties, and they kept me busy and behind a lot of doors for a long time. So but it was good. A lot of great conversations. Good buzz. AI, as you can imagine, was in just about every committee discussion and almost every meeting we had. Um, KP, I'm curious if you were kind of what your take was in terms of the overall theme from NBA, and then did it have any parallels with NAM?
Well, I mean, 3,700 people was the number that I heard. Around 2,000 for the National Association of Mortgage Brokers at Caesars right before that. So I went there late Saturday, a little bit Sunday, and then over to NBA, and that was just full bore until getting out of town Wednesday morning. I mean, look, the temperature is always, better when the mortgage business is doing better. We've got, extremely low rates. Inflation came in pretty tame this morning. So, let the rally continue, right? As they say in New Orleans, laissez le bon temps rouler. So let the good times roll. Yeah, I could talk about AI and all that, and I know we've done it a lot, but it really is, it was interesting to see some of the headlines that we're in an AI bubble, like in mortgage. Now, I do think some people are recoiling back on some of the spend that they've done because there's not ROI, but that just means you picked the wrong partner. And so there is ROI in AI, and it's massive. It may not be there for everyone yet, but it's coming in ways that people who say things like that don't have the creativity to understand what they can do with tech, and that's okay. I mean, no one believed in air conditioning, right, and color television and smartphones until one day everyone did. So. But anyway, Courtney, what do you think? I'm curious your take on the MBA just from reading articles and hearing from other people. And then you can soundboard off the two of us. That way you're not just listening to us for 10, 20 minutes.
My take?
Yeah.
My
Flag
take?
is an outside.
I wasn't even there. And I think that one of the problems I have, or I think we all have, I think that there is a bubble of folks on LinkedIn that are in the mortgage sphere. And so certainly there's people that are watching the bubble of folks that interact on the mortgage sphere, but you asked the question. So I'm going to give you the answer, KP. I strongly considered, and I did 100 days on LinkedIn, and I'm doing 100 days off LinkedIn to see, I'm doing a social experiment of my own right now. So I'm sharing things, I'm participating, but I'm trying to see the value of all of that anyway. But I did strongly consider, based upon the volume of people I saw drinking at a Pink conference or concert, excuse me. That was what was posted online. I'm kind of like, no wonder mortgage is so freaking behind if all of the leaders are drinking and dancing at a Pink concert while the rest of us are home deploying AI, right? And it makes me wonder, and the volume of people from different organizations that I saw there, and the amount of money that I saw spent at MBA this year, honestly made me we complain that we're behind, but look at the last 10 posts that I've received on LinkedIn about the MBA. And so I love everybody. And I was jealous that I wasn't at the Pink concert. But also,
is that what it is? Is that what this is? Are you getting your feelings out?
I went to one in Metro Detroit earlier this year, but I think it does beg an interesting question. In terms of, and I understand if you're a vendor, and this kind of goes back to Brian's comment at the beginning, he attended a conference for the first time with a new title, like a new role, a new position, and it changes your conference experience, right? So I remember one of the most interesting learnings I've ever had in mortgage, and call me naive, and I always am, but my heart is always in the right spot. When I left being on the client side for the entry point of my career in mortgage, and I went to the vendor side, learning who my actual friends were at the first conference I went to. Now conference and concert are hard in my wee little brain. Where I was just like, all these people that used to know my name and say hi to me. And it kind of just never occurred to me because I had never been on the vendor side. And it's so hard to be on the vendor side. Brian just left the vendor side. Now he's El Presidente. But, I think that how our title and how our role meets the industry and what components of our jobs are because of that, right? And what people show up with great vim and vigor, right? So you'll see a lot of sub-servicers there and their leadership there who are not home running the shop, right? They're there hawking sub-servicing, right? From a me-level perspective, you always see the legal networks from a servicing perspective. The lawyers are always there, right? Title companies. Ooh, we gotta love the title companies. And AI now too, but I'm just curious with the volume of conferences and the amount of money that we spend in this space, getting back to ROI and getting back to, AI and all of these other things. It's where are you spending your money and what does that look like? And how does that get you to the places that you're going? Right. I don't know. I think that's a important question. What I guess my biggest question for both of you, diatribe over, is What is a new learning that you gathered at the MBA annual conference? Because I would quarrel that if we're not learning new things, are we just spending money and going to Pink concerts? See, fucked it up again. Oh, there you go.
I have two things before I get into the new learning. First one is I did not make it to the Pink concert or Pink conference. She might have done a separate conference. But I too have seen Pink live before. And my understanding was the venue that she performed in Vegas didn't have a high enough roof, so everything was on the ground. So she wasn't flying around, which is kind of her thing.
Bummer.
She's an amazing entertainer, by the way.
And athlete.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I did not make it to the concert. I was at a dinner that I planned to stay for 30 minutes that, went 3+ hours. So that was one. What was number two? Number two, Courtney, I want to go back to your comment around, sitting in a role as a client, moving to a role as a vendor. I did the same path, right? And this is more of a PSA for all y'all that are out there watching. Who we are and what our title is, whether we're a client or a vendor, or in this case, more of a association advocacy type role, we're still people at the end of the day. We're humans. And Courtney didn't change as a human when she left being a client and went to the vendor. And we all need to take a lesson in what Courtney just shared, because you don't know where Courtney's going to be next, if she's going to have a next. And
amen.
So, PSA, love the human first, forget the title of where they are. It'll pay you back in spades over time. And I, for a different reason altogether, have experienced that over the last several weeks, that there are a lot of good humans in our industry that care about the human and not the title. And you all know who you are. And I thank all of you for that. And so my learning was, I now have a different level of appreciation for the level of work the MBA and its staff puts in these events. It's so involved. And 7 a.m. staff meetings where the room is full, like 80 people, 7 a.m. ready to go and hit the ground running. If you're on site, we always take for granted how well these things are run. And I got to see from the backstage all the work that goes into it. And it's no different, frankly, than what's going to happen where KP's at with the AIM Fuse event. So as attendees for conferences, it's easy to complain about the dry beef at lunch. But, again, there are humans that put a lot of blood, sweat, tears, energy into this. And so we need to appreciate the humans first. That's all.
I love that, Ryan. KP?
Yeah, I like that. I always said, definitely, obviously, shout out to the MBA staff. I mean, 3,700 people, it's no small feat. And so, everyone gets different things out of the conferences, right? And I've said this in the past on our podcast, but like when you meet people at, let's say, at a vendor and you become friends with them on a human level, they'll move from place to place to place. They give you more real information about the place they're at. Like they'll just straight up tell you, like, this is what's really going on here. So it's, and I'm not doing it, to justify, the ends. I'm just saying there are benefits that you can never imagine that come out of just being nice to people. What I will say is it is much harder at the bigger show like this because, my schedule is jammed. Like I have meetings, like I'm not very good at scheduling because I do my own scheduling. So everything is like packed. And so I barely even give myself enough time to get to everything. So I did a little better job this year. And so I'm constantly moving and I want to stop and chat with everybody that like sees you or shakes your hand or recognizes you, whatever. And I don't want to come across rude. So I try and make it a point to like, to talk to everyone to keep that human interaction going. But I apologize if there's anyone that like I just, if I came across any kind of way, I always do it with a smile. I'm always excited. I'm happy to be there. But it was busy. I mean, it's
Yeah.
busy. I mean, these shows are busy. I mean, and it was very productive. I mean, sitting in, the executive committee meeting for the NBA and learning about what they're going to do with FICO and all that kind of stuff, and GSE recap and release and all the different things. We had a great speaker about AI implementation and policies and regs. It was just that was just one meeting. And I could go over 50 that I had. But really, really good stuff. I'm excited, obviously, about the industry and where we're going, and to bring it back. I mean, obviously, this conference isn't just about the the concert, right? So,
We had
but
Jim Gaffigan too.
yeah, Jim Gaffigan, One Republic. I mean, great dinners, good networking, good people. I learn in every sitting I'm in. I'm asking questions. I'm trying to hear people are talking about whatever it is they're talking about. I got to meet people from the LinkedIn bubble that I'd never met face to face.
Yeah.
So weird, right? It's like seeing your
Pink,
teacher at Kmart.
at Pink, right? And so, and they all look just as great as they do online, right? So no catfishing, but it was just really nice it was really nice, that concert. I didn't know this, but apparently you had to like go down and get your spot, and then they're going to rope everything off. It wasn't like a normal concert where people just start crowding their way into the front, and like they called the ball at one point. They said, "All right, no one else is moving," and I didn't know the rules, right? Excuse me. So I'm in the back hanging out in the bar. Oh, the band Pink's going on. I guess it's time to go up and grab a seat. I'm like as far away as you could possibly be, because I didn't know the rules, right? And I had early access and everything. So so I just kind of weaseled my way up to the far left side, and there I am hanging out with a couple people, and just Pink happened to like come to our spot like more than any other spot. Like I have videos of her right in front of me. She was great. Like she's great. She's iconic. You're whether you're a fan or not, you're just it's an iconic performer, right? And she actually sang more covers than anything. She sang Janis Joplin, Bobby McGee, and then rolled right into a Led Zeppelin cover, and that's when from there on it took off. And then of course she sang Four Non Blondes. What's going on? That actually got the crowd going. And Courtney, you'll dig this and you'll appreciate this because you saw the videos. I posted a video on my Instagram. One of my friends is like, "Wow, you finance guys really get into concerts," and everyone's just standing there, like this. It was like. And so like it didn't like people didn't really start getting going until she sang the Four Non Blonde What's Going On song, which is like her second to last song, and it was pretty quick.
Actually, it's kind of brilliant if you think about her covering music, because she can probably assume that 25% of the room is gonna she's at the Bankers Conference. She's probably like, these are all losers. I'm gonna sing covers so that they like what I'm doing, and then I'll sing some of my stuff too. Yeah,
100%. And One Republic, they did the same thing on Tuesday night, which I didn't realize how much Ryan Tedder, the lead. I mean, obviously great band. I had no idea how many songs he wrote for other people. Like he wrote Halo for Beyonce. He listed off like 20 songs that he was a part of. And so he did some of those covers where he would do like the first verse and the chorus, and then he would roll into another one. So he was really good too. Wrote for Adele.
One question though, did Chauncey Billups ever come in and offer a card game to anyone?
No, but I hit my did you see the meme where the guy had he goes, I'm just one leg away from hitting my parlay. Come on, Jokic, get the triple double tonight. And he had Rozier and Billups arrested by the FBI, Jokic to get a triple double. That was his three hit parlay to win 41 grand. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, like,
no.
You know what? I didn't gamble one time. I was in 3 different casinos, and I never once gambled the entire time. This is the second time in a row I've done a Vegas trip without gambling. It feels great.
This was my 4th Vegas trip of the year, and I've ended the year in 4 Vegas trips flush, but
Nice.
I also didn't bet a nickel on any of the trips.
I kind of forgot that it was in Vegas. My joke is way funnier.
Oh,
Like
totally.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, you.
Well,
you could have.
that's what I thought you were going with it, because we're all gambling in
No,
Vegas, right?
I
So,
mean, I'm a Detroiter. My heart's broken. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
I mean, X-ray glasses, marked cards, mirrors on the table. I mean, come on, that's crazy.
It's good reading.
And it was at the Fontainebleau, right? One of the newer resorts there in Vegas, which is a cool
Which
place.
was fantastic. I mean, it was. I mean, I used to live in Fort Lauderdale for 13 years. I've been to the one in Miami a bazillion times.
Yeah.
It's a great place. This was massive, and
Yeah.
they really were able to handle that conference. And you didn't feel like you were in Vegas, because I know everyone dreaded, like, oh, it's going to be in Vegas.
Right.
No one really went to the Strip. Like, you're so far down on the end, and everything was pretty classy in the hotel. I got to tell you, like, just I mean, Kirk and Halcyon had the biggest suite I've ever seen
10,000
for
square
meetings.
feet.
It was crazy. Mike at Vesta, Mike Yu, invited some of us to a dinner at Ito, which is like an omakase type place in the Poodle Room. That was literally the best sushi I've ever had in my life.
Poodle Room.
I mean,
The Poodle Room. That sounds inappropriate.
so the Poodle Room is like a nightclub with its own little elevator. It's on like the 88th floor, and then in the back there's a special like sushi, like two chefs, 6 and 6, 12 people. And I mean, the service, it was called Ito, ITO. So anyone going back, I recommend it. It was literally unbelievable. So shout out to Mike and Kirk for going over the top. Obviously for Stan and team, hosting yet again a concert, and then the NBA, like you said, Brian.
And while we're still on the topic, we can't leave that topic without recognizing one of the icons from NBA, Marsha Davies.
Oh yes,
this was her last official NBA annual, and I mentioned the 7 a.m. kind of all staff NBA meetings, kicking off each day, and there was Marsha right there, front and center every morning, kind of getting after it. So shout out Marsha, and I did not make it in ahead of the Sunday start for the Empower event, but I got heard from everybody that the Empower event on Saturday was as traditionally become just one of the must attend events. Maria Shriver was interviewed by Marsha, and just great content all day long. So I got to cross paths with Marsha for a very brief period of time in terms of my new tenure with NBA, but she is definitely one of the industry icons without a doubt.
1 week, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I had a chance to hang with her and her husband for a little bit, and a couple different occasions, and yeah, what amazing leader she's done. It's if you see the NBA email group for the Empower, it's, you see people reply to that and they talk about like their story, how they were inspired by Marsha, and I recall Marsha. Gosh, it must have been about about 9+ years ago. I've been in California almost 10 now. Excuse me. I was at the Empower Luncheon for experience.com when they used to be called Social Survey, the Social Survey Summit. And, Empower was about 10 years old. So it was kind of just kicking off this thing. And so Marsha and Teresa Basemore were there hosting the luncheon. And I was so inspired by this group. I remember I went up to Marsha and I was like, the Freddie Mac CEO job is available. And she said something to the effect of like, they can't afford me, and I was like, okay, she knows her worth. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Right. So, I told her just this last week at the NBA, and what it made me do is I went back to PRMG and I said, we need to start the PRMG Women's Advisory Council and just give a place for people to have a voice, like Like if you're in shipping or post closing, or if you're Courtney who doesn't have a podcast but you're in servicing, how are you gonna, how are you gonna have a voice? So anyway, I told her how that inspired us, and she's left a legacy at our company and many other companies. And so yeah,
Oh, yeah.
great shout out. Court, last word. Get on that one.
I think that we do need to create space for new voices. I think that we have major folks that are, coming of age, and the mortgage industry has its generations, right? It has its people that are evolving out and away from, big names, that people that I've seen at the head of everything for a really, really long time. And I think that, even, Brian becoming the president of Mismo, right? Like, as we move up within organizations and we get titles, there's a lot of people, and I'll throw myself in that group, right? I'm a part of the MBA Servicing Executive Council for my first year, right? And I think that I would encourage everyone, there's a lot of people out there just like me who are doing things like that for the first time. They get, their first invites at the big kids tables after 25 years of, working hard and trying to be a part of the industry. And I would just say, remember that, right? Like whether or not you are a person that is so established that you can say badass things like they can't afford me in that job, right? Or if you're a young person, I've been in the industry almost 25 years, paying the piper, singing the songs, performing in my job, and all of these other things. And it does take that long, right? These things, it's the nature of the beast. And step one is always participation, right?
That's it.
So reach out to people on like I am here by virtue of all of the wonderful people around me and the introductions that they have given me and the hands that have reached out to see if there was a way that we could partner together in any way, shape, or form. And those exist because someone told me to start doing that 15 years ago, right? They said, you're old enough now, you got to start doing that. And so I would say, like, remember the different roles and how challenging it is in down markets and, all of these other things, and try to be a human when you can, and not a title and not a role in an organization, because there are good people out there. There's stinkers too. Don't get me wrong. There's always stinkers. But to know who the good people are, know who your people are, and know that it is a journey in mortgage to be able to have, these prestigious roles, or to know that you've evolved beyond them. And just keep putting in the minutes.
I love that you said participate, because the one thing I'll point out in terms of what I saw in my limited time actually being out and about on the floor and the exhibit hall and the different areas, I did see more younger people that are coming into the business than I've seen in the past, which kudos to the companies that are sending their younger kind of next gen leaders, if you will, and a couple younger, well, a lot of people are younger than me these days, but a couple of the younger folks that I talked to, they asked, like, what would be your recommendation for me to grow in my career? And I said, the first thing you have to do is what you're doing here. You are here. You've showed up, right? You've shown up. Now find the rooms that you want to be in and participate. I said, too often people feel like they need to wait to be invited, and those days are long gone, guys. Nobody invited us to do this Friday show. Well, sort of, but for the most part, we just kind of kicked the door down and said, we're going to do this. So, there are ways to show up. And I think it doesn't matter where you are in your career or on your journey, there's people that can learn from you, and you just have to show up and participate. And so that would be that's my kind of advice I've given younger people, is just get in the room yourself and participate.
And let me just tell you that, like, there isn't instant gratification either. I mean, there are people that are so inspired by Marsha, they want to do what she does. And, obviously as a team, it's a team sport at Empower, but there's people that want to be like her and be her. And you may not have got your shot right now in this moment as she's leaving, but you could obviously see with all the promotions at NBA and everyone got moved around, there's upward mobility at that organization, and it takes time. You got to put in the time. I will say that I do notice, like, there's that there are some people that like instant gratification. It's mostly my kids, but but it doesn't work like that all the time. I'm not saying it can't, because, like, if you're entrepreneurial, you just go out and build it. You just, get it done. But those things take time. Everything takes time. So, there's a lot of opportunity that will continue to unfold over time. And I bet Marsha would say that she wishes whoever steps up next in that role is better than her, because she left it better than when she found it. And so I think that's what everybody wants. So it'll be interesting to see that younger generation, how they iterate over these years coming.
Love it.
We just put on our parent hats, all three of us. That was great. That's fantastic.
Show up, guys. Have a good
it.
weekend.
See you guys. Next week is Halloween, so are we gonna dress up for this show or what? We got a week to figure that out. So
fun hats.
Fun hats. There you go.
Fun hats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like my Carrington Charitable Foundation.
There you go.
Very fun.
Well, guys, thanks so much. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this week's Last Word, a Chrisman commentary weekly show, and we are proudly sponsored by the Chrisman Commentary Marketplace. So if you haven't scanned that QR code in the lower right, check it out. I actually went in there yesterday. They're loaded up, man. There's a lot of great companies in the Chrisman Commentary Marketplace. So check that out. Have a great weekend. See you next Friday.
Bye, guys.